India, a country identified with its rich diversity. When it comes to natural heritage, India is one amongst the 17 megadiversity countries in the world, with 8% of the world's biodiversity on 2% of the Earth's surface. For years, researchers, scholars, environmentalists have studied this vast natural diversity of the country, both at individual capacity and at the organizational level. While much has been studied and documented on the natural diversity of India, accessing this information still remains a Herculean task.
At present, all the taxonomical information on Indian animals is scattered in a variety of journals and books. Fauna volumes are not updated, and therefore any worker interested in doing work is simply at loss. Since the literature is scattered, he cannot go on searching for references in library and spending hours together, months together and years together. So basically this scatteredness and unavailability of literature is the problem, which is most prominent in pursuing the work on taxonomy.
But this trapped wild data found a lease of fresh breath with one idea.
I would used to find two difficult problems. A, where do I get the right information about a specific plant or animal or microbe? And the B is, if I go into the nature, can I identify this species of an animal right in the nature? So can I have sufficient information in my hand or in the nature so it can help me to identify that species rightly? So that was the two problems. So we realized that it is important that one of the hindrance in accessing the data on Indian biodiversity is that it is too scattered. It is distributed and it is isolated with individuals and institutional cupboards. There has to be a mechanism that has to be developed which can help us to accumulate this information, assimilate this information under one's umbrella, which is accessible to anybody, any place, any time.
However, conceiving an idea was not enough. It never is enough. It had to be executed, and this was a task in itself.
Out of 27. So, chances this year, what kind of
major groups would be covered?
The work began. It was the month of August 2002.
Be very frank with each one of you. This is what I feel. You should search in different ways. Like even the initials and surname. I would say if I
There were apprehensions, there were doubts, there was skepticism. But then there was conviction, there was commitment, and there was trust.
We are extremely happy with the progress on this program. We did a lot of interesting things there. I think one was teamwork. I mean, we could get a good number of youngsters who are deeply committed to the project. I think that's the key for the progress of the project. I mean, they work late in the night, come on a weekend. A lot of team spirit was there. And I think the IT and the web model also was very interesting because we could get taxonomists across the country to look at the data on a continuous basis. So whenever something is there, we put it up on the web, and taxonomists, were willingly, spending their time looking at the data, correcting data. I think it's a model where we really had a cooperative quality control on the data that goes in. I think that was very satisfying. I mean, we never expected this to happen when we started the project.
The initial challenge was collecting the valuable data scattered across the country. plethora of taxonomical data documented in Fauna of British India, research papers, offline and online media was abstracted besides the inputs given by experts, taxonomists and ecologists. These data, however, had to be validated and a team of taxonomists volunteered to take up the task of validation.
So we searched through various data sources. One was of course a printed material, and we have quite a lot over 200 years, right from the British taxonomist who documented our fauna. After that, Zoological Survey of India is the prime institution which looks after classifying animals in India, collecting them and making a record of them. Then the major source was taxonomists in person, because there is a lot of information that sometimes doesn't get published. It remains with the taxonomist. So individually we talked to as many taxonomists as possible. First reaction was that what you have done is very good, but it's impossible, because the task itself looks so large. The number of species is large. Then they knew what are the difficulties in taxonomy. So repeatedly we had to write saying how we are doing it, what is the process, what will come out of it. So that went into building up a trust. And then slowly taxonomy started responding.
Within a year, that is by August 2003, 23% of the task was completed, and majority of it constituted data collection and classification. By October 2004, the team had with it 90,000 scientific names, 48,000 synonyms, 15,070 common names of known Indian faunal species. Authenticated and updated information was collated back into the database, and this database was then chiseled out into a digital sculpture. And then, on October 12, 2004, 90,000 faunal species from all over India were accessible on IndFauna, a site celebrating the mega diversity of Mega India.